everyone, welcome back to Sweet Talks. I'm Tess, your host. Today I have Mikaila Murphy with me. She's a dancer and influencer, and I all around just love her content. We're gonna bake some cookies today and talk more about her journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get going. Hi Mikaila.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you, I'm so excited.
I am so stoked you're here.
We're making stuff.
Okay, so you told me that you like chocolate cake.
Yes.
And then I was talking to you and I was like, okay, it's really hard for people to like make cakes, decorate them, and like, you know, we just want something easy, fast, and yummy.
Yes, please, easy.
Right, exactly. You can make this all the time. So, cake mix cookies. Yeah, okay, so it's the easiest thing you could possibly do. You get your favorite box cake mix. So it could be chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, anything. We did chocolate because it's your favorite.
I love chocolate.
And so I'm going to teach you just how to make them. It's very quick, very easy.
Cool.
So we have our boxed cake mix, we have chocolate chips, we have vegetable oil, and 2 eggs.
Cool, I'm excited.
So I love your energy. Okay. If you want to crack the 2 eggs into here, I will pour in.
Hope I don't get the shell in there.
Honestly, we'll fish it out. Or you know what? Some crunch is good
Okay.
for us.
Don't. Okay.
Amazing.
Let me just throw the shells in there.
Yeah, back in the cup.
Cool.
Perfect.
When I was little, I used to always beg my mom to let me crack the eggs. And she'd be like, no, you're going to get the shells in there.
It's like you're going to make it more work than it should.
And I always did.
That is so funny. We just mix it with this, and if you want to start, and so obviously it takes a little bit of manpower to get the eggs all beat up, but it's gonna turn into a cookie dough.
Cool.
Which is very weird to think about because like a boxed cake mix, you're like, oh wow, this is gonna be runny, it's gonna be cake batter, but like,
interesting.
it's wild. So just it takes a little bit of time, but as you mix it, it'll come together. Yeah. You're like, this is my workout. Like, what's dancing? Like, we're just
Literally,
gonna do this.
who is she?
We're just gonna mix cookies all day, and that's gonna get us the bod we want.
I have to put in work to eat these cookies.
Yeah. So. Amazing.
Wow, this is thick.
I know, isn't it? So like, you just didn't expect it to be this way, but you're doing great. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Wait, so why is this thick? Did you do something different than if it were just a cake?
Yes. So it's different measurements. So for the cake, I think it adds an extra egg and more water. We actually didn't put any water in it, so you add water, and that's how it gets it to be a little bit thinner and more batter-like. So that's like, it looks like cookie dough.
Wow.
Okay, so now for the best part.
Ooh.
More chocolate. Okay, so now just fold it in. So exactly what you're doing, just a folding motion. People are like, well, how do you fold it in? And it's literally paper. Like, how would you fold a piece of paper? Now, have you used this before?
No.
Okay, let me show you. So this is how you get really uniform cookies. So, funny enough, I'm a baker, obviously, and I did not use this. And I had someone tell me, they're like, don't you want uniform cookies? They have to be all the same size. And I was like, I never thought about that. Like, I do this for a living. So I was like, I should buy one of these. So this is like the sure way to get every single one exactly the same size.
Do you love it?
I do like it. But I like, truly when I bake, I'm like, I'm doing this so I could eat it. And like, it could be one large slab of cookie. It could be 30 cookies. I'm going to eat it nonetheless. So anyway. Uniform cookies. So you take your little scoop and you fill it, and you can like, kind of brush it on the side here. So like that. And then you just
oh, cute.
Amazing, right?
Okay.
Now.
Oh, this is fun. Okay. And then boop.
Yeah. Boop. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Uniform cookies.
They're going to be perfect for any bakery window. I love it.
Oh, this is so satisfying.
Right?
I feel like I could do this all day. I feel like I would do this with like kinetic sand.
Holy cow, yeah, I've never thought about that. You're right. That would
I love kinetic sand.
Is that like one of the things that helps you just relax?
Yeah, I always take it and I put it in one of those like measuring cups, and then I just cut it, and then I just keep repeating the process.
That is so funny.
I'm such a weirdo.
I used to always play with that when people had it in their offices. Like,
I love it.
So many people had them like in their business offices, and now thinking about it, I haven't seen that for years at this point. I'm like, oh, it's a little odd.
I just bought 4 bags of it because my new place, I'm trying to build a kinetic sand pit. Because they have like a normal sandbox, so I'm just like scooping all the normal sand out. I'm like, this is going to be all kinetic.
Oh my god, that would be so cool. What? That's a really creative idea.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And you're going to build a dance studio.
Yes.
Which is super cool. You obviously have to. I mean, you're a dancer.
I
you
have
have
to.
have it.
I'm just excited now because, you know, my apartment, there's not really a lot of room to dance. So I just don't really get to, like, dance anymore.
Yeah. Like, in your home, we have to go to a studio. Sometimes it's a hassle to go places.
And it's just, I hate driving here. I'm not about to drive and be stuck in traffic for 45 minutes to go to a dance studio.
100%. I feel like that about literally everything. Grocery store, not worth it.
Yeah, no. Instacart.
Doctors.
I Instacart.
Yeah. Doctor's appointments. Who's a doctor?
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going.
I just had a doctor's appointment this week, actually, and I was so annoyed. I was like, I don't want to go.
Because I have to drive.
There we go.
Okay, perfect. So, these are now ready to be baked. You did
Marvelous.
great. Look at that.
Art. I love how yours is, like, so clean, though, and mine's just, like, bloop.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is we're going to eat these, right? Like, it's just
yeah.
going in our mouth. Like, it doesn't... These are going to be beautiful, and they're going to taste even better. Okay, let's put them in the oven.
Cool.
Okay, so these are baked cookies.
Okay.
And look how freaking perfect they are.
They are perfect.
Are you ready to eat them?
Yeah.
I did this!
Cheers!
Okay, I have to try one of these
I'm
cookies.
excited.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
This is literally cake and a cookie.
This is what I'm telling you. I was like, Mikaila, I have to do this for you.
Oh my gosh.
Did you have chocolate cake a lot when you were young? Is that why it's your favorite?
I just love chocolate.
Fair, me too.
I feel like chocolate cake was just always like our go-tos for birthdays and stuff. Like my most crazy chocolate cake story is every Christmas we would make chocolate cake because my grandpa's birthday is Christmas Eve, and we would leave chocolate cake out for Santa, not cookies.
That is so cute.
Yeah, I
That's
love
a
my
nice-
grandpa.
Yes, okay, so you were telling me that your grandpa is the reason why you dance,
Yes,
right?
I swear my grandpa's like the reason I do anything. He got me into dancing. He used to like babysit me because both my parents worked. And we would just watch Shirley Temple all day long and tap around the living room. So when I was 3, I was old enough to like take my first tap class, and he told my mom, he's like, you need to get her to dance. She loves it. Like she just doesn't stop. Like she always wants to watch Shirley Temple. So I got into dancing when I was 3 years old, and the rest is history. And then my grandpa's just been like my #1 supporter since. He was in my first viral TikToks.
Really?
So he even like started my social media career.
Wait, that's so... Okay, wait, what was the first viral TikTok that you made?
Dancing in public was my first one. And then my second one was dancing with my grandpa.
Oh my god, that's so cute. So he's just like your biggest fan. He's like, what's Mikaila doing at all times? I'm just here to support her.
All the time. And I call them all the time. My grandma's also like my #1 supporter too. They like share first place. But I FaceTime my grandmother pretty much every single day, and I'm always like, how's Papa?
That's so cute. Oh my gosh. So you started dancing at 3. Take me through, like, what was your favorite dance, like, type of dance, and then how did you get to where you are now? I mean, you're an amazing dancer.
Thank you so much. So my favorite style of dance, I feel like that's kind of a hard question because I love it all.
Yeah, that's great. Jane of all trades.
I feel like tap is always gonna have a special place in my heart because that's what started my love for dance, but it's not my favorite. It's up there. I love contemporary dance because that's like my storytelling and my beautiful like art form. So I love contemporary, but then I really got into like sexy feminine styles such as like heels dancing and twerking and stuff like that in the last 2 years. So I think that might be in first place right now. Because I just like, nothing makes me feel more like sexy than dancing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I love it.
How did you get into like the more feminine, sexy dancing? What was that transition?
So when I was 18, I took my first heels class in Detroit. The lady, her name was Tiffany Renee, and she just kind of became like my dance mom, little mentor. And yeah, she got me into it. And like the first class, I was just kind of a natural at it. And I was like, okay, I love being a sexy woman.
I love that. You're so like unapologetically yourself.
Thank you.
And
I try.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the message that I try to spread because there's only one you. So like, don't spend your life trying to be someone else.
That's totally true. 100%. That's so insightful. I love that.
Thank you.
Obviously you do a lot of like the sexy feminine dancing on and pictures on the internet, right? And so like that's definitely the confidence you portray, and like I love to see that. Has it been hard to do that on social media?
I feel like, you know, anything you do, there's a lot of hate. You know, I feel more confident when I'm like sexy and like showing more and like dancing in more feminine ways, but there's other women that feel more confident literally doing princess POVs. Yeah. And they get hate for being too like immature and young. And you know, you take JoJo Siwa for example, she got so much hate for being so young and innocent, and I'm like, you're gonna hate on anything because JoJo's like my complete opposite, and you're hating on her,
right?
For like being too childish. But then I'm over here just like, you know, acting my age. Like I'm 22 years old. I'm a woman. Like I'm very open about like my sexuality and just like loving myself. And you're gonna hate that too. So I feel like it's not really hard because my family's always raised me to know that people are going to have opinions. I grew up a competitive dancer. Like, I was literally getting judged every day of my life. Yeah. So, I don't really care. It's not too hard because I love what I do. And I'm like, if you hate it, don't watch.
Yeah.
Like, I do this for me. Like, it did turn into my job. But I think what people fail to realize is there was a point in my life where I posted this stuff and no one saw it. Yeah. So, it really was truly just for myself. Like, I just loved doing it, and then one day it started blowing up for me, and I was like, it's not gonna change why I do it,
right? Like, totally.
It just so happens to be a job now.
And so when was the career started? Like, when did it start becoming something that you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this for a living?
So I went to school for dance. I was in college for 2 years. And my freshman year, I was like, you know, I don't really like school. I was a straight A student. I'm a perfectionist, but it was just boring. And I was like, this is not it. Like, I can't see myself sitting here doing this for 4 years. Yeah. And then also being a dance major, like, I'm spending so much money, and dancers don't make a lot. So I'm like, I'm going to be spending my whole life paying back college.
Yeah. And that's a lot of people for, you know, just any type of career as well.
Like, I feel like it was important for a year because, like, what else was I going to do? Like, I didn't want to sit at home and do nothing. Like, I think it was necessary, and it put me on track. And the reason it put me on track is because I was like, dang, I need to work hard to get out of here. Yeah. So my college experience was more me trying to figure out a path to get out. And all my friends I went to school with can, like, say the same thing. They will literally tell you, yeah, Mikaila, like, was trying to figure out how to get the hell out of here.
And you're like, hey,
I had one friend in specific. I was like, girl, I need to get out. I was like, I'm not going to be here next year. I was like, you're going to have to do all the senior stuff alone. And she's like, no, don't leave me. And I was like, I'm gone. Yeah. And I really, like, made it a reality. I was like, I need to get out of here. So my freshman year, I started, like, posting a little bit on TikTok, and you know, it like started doing decent. I had my first viral video, and then I had this one teacher. His name was Steve. He sadly passed away, but that man was literally like one of the most important people in my life. He's the only reason I got up happy to do 9 a.m. ballet.
Oh my god! Oh,
I love that man so much. He's definitely like top 3 most important people in my life. And he used to always joke around. He'd be like, "You're gonna be like huge one day. I need to be your manager." And I was like, "Steve, like." You will be. And I was like, just watch, I'm gonna make this social media stuff pop off. Yeah. And then surely enough, that December he passed away, and then I started really blowing up on social media. So I was kind of like, Steve, this is for you.
I love that.
You can manage me from heaven. So
that is so nice.
I really started blowing up, and then I hit my first million that following, I want to say February of 2019.
Okay, so
it was like right before COVID.
Okay,
right before COVID. So I was like, all right. I started getting like a couple song promos. It wasn't enough to like, you know, but at the time I was teaching dance. I had worked at Target, so it was a lot, like it was much better money than that. Sure. So I was like, all right, I can't like move out on my own yet, but you know, I'm gonna keep pushing, and hopefully one day it'll be enough. Because I didn't really understand the resources and like jobs that social media really could bring you. Sure. So I had no idea what was to come. So then COVID hit, and for me that was like my biggest blessing in disguise, because it kind of forced me to focus on social media, because you know, dance majors, you can't really dance on Zoom.
That's definitely true.
So it took them like an extra like 5-6 weeks to like figure out a plan for us. So within those 5 to 6 weeks I was posting every single day, and I literally grew like, it took me, I want to say like over a year to hit my first million, but then within 5 to 6 weeks I hit another like 1 or 2 million more.
Whoa.
And then I got my first 2 brand deals, and I was like, okay. You're like, I can follow my dreams and leave. So I remember I like called my professor. This was, I want to say like April, May of 2019. And I was like, hi, I'm leaving. Like, I'm sorry. And she gave me the whole lecture. She's like, you will not be successful without school. You have to have a degree. You're going to end up coming back, so you might as well just finish out. And I was like, you don't understand. Like, this stuff might not be here. And if I miss my opportunity, it's gone forever. Like, you know, TikTok literally went through the risk of getting banned. Vine went away, and I was like, I'm not missing my opportunity. I'm taking this risk. Worst case scenario, I fail, I go broke, and I come home and I go back to school. Sure. At least I took the risk. So I was planning on just like going back and forth from like LA to Michigan. My first trip, I met some friends, and they're like, no, you really need to like live here, because there's so many opportunities. You'll go home, and then the day of, something big will come up. Sure. And surely enough, that happened. I missed a really big collab, and I was like, wow, I'm moving. So within 2 weeks, I packed up my childhood bedroom,
Was this like
cross country
May 2020? Like, was it in the pandemic?
This was in September.
Oh, okay.
I went out there the first time in September, so it was like
in the pandemic, right?
Nothing was open. It was a big risk. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I moved all the way across country within 2 weeks, and yeah.
And you've been here since.
Been here since.
Holy cow!
And that risk was like the greatest like decision I've ever made in my life because. If I would have stayed in college, like I would have just graduated this year and I would not be doing anything. I wouldn't have anything lined up.
Yeah.
But because I took this risk, now I'm living out my dreams, doing what I love. I do it all pretty much like independently, you know, like I'm just a little boss lady.
Oh my God. Wait, that's such an amazing story. And
Thank
I
you.
like, so you started obviously before the pandemic. Was it something that you were like, I'm going to turn to social media to help my career?
Absolutely.
Like, that was the goal.
Absolutely.
It was like social media is going to be this.
I've always wanted to be big on social media. Like I thought the term for everything was a YouTuber. Like ever since I was a little kid, I was like, I want to be a YouTuber, and I made like the absolute like most embarrassing videos ever. Like on my Facebook, I have like the very like poor Android quality. Like I recorded it on my old like computer quality videos.
Fair.
And then like my Snap stories were always just like incredibly long. Like people hated when my Snapchats popped up because they're like, oh my God,
like another story,
another
right?
one. It's like your 50th today.
That's so funny.
So I've always loved it. And then like being a dancer, the entertainment industry is just completely messed up, and I feel like dancers just get treated so poorly. And I was always like, you know what, I need to figure out a way to where like I have leverage and I have the power and no one can tell me what to do, because the thing about me, I do not like to be told what to do.
Same, I get it.
And I feel like so many like men in the industry too, there's a lot of like very sketchy stories that have come out. They're still coming out. I actually just read another story yesterday about like some creepy dude taking advantage of girls, and like you only get hired if you sleep with them and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I'm changing this. Like that is not about to happen.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. That's and to your point, when you were talking about like when you have cringy things on Facebook, I have memories pop up from like 10 years ago where like, did you ever send videos of yourself to people on their walls so it would like pop up and you're like,
yes,
hi. Blah, blah. I just wanted to say hi, and you have like the ugliest like
oh my gosh,
prepubescent voice, and I was like, it just popped up the other day and I was like,
it's
horrible.
horrible.
Still have it up, and I'm like, why didn't I take it down when I could? And I'm like, whatever.
You know what? Now it like has to stay because it's just a piece of us. Like I had little bangs and I had purple sunglasses. No, not sunglasses. Like actual glasses. And I had like 7 shirts from Justice that I used to rotate out every day of the week. I had like 5 monkey shirts. I had a golden retriever, and I had one of those chocolate cows where if you scratch it, it smells.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, that was pretty cool though. Like if we think about it, I would love a scratch and sniff.
Right? Like imagine just like cookie shirts and it just smells like this.
Oh my God, yeah. 100%.
But like after one wash, it doesn't work anymore. So like I tried to convince my mom. I was like, Mom, I'll wear deodorant. Please don't wash it. And she's like, Mikaila, no.
She's like, what? Who are you? Like what?
She washed it. It doesn't smell like chocolate no more.
That is so funny. Well, so going back to just like your journey on social media, because obviously you have a big following, you do a lot, you're a Jane of all trades, like I was saying.
Thanks.
How has it been for you to find yourself and your self-love? Because you are young and you did start very young. So like as a teenager to a young adult, you know, how did it affect you? How have you found yourself?
So I feel like I've always been fairly confident, and like I was saying earlier, I have a very supportive family, so I've always had them to kind of like keep me on the right track, and they always like made me feel really confident in myself, so I definitely have them to thank. But you know, it wasn't always easy, and then like as I got into my teen years and stuff, I started like dating, and I got in some like really bad situations with men, and I feel like I let a lot of men tear my confidence down, and I went through like some traumatic stuff, and I was like, all right, I hate myself, so I went through that phase of my life, and this was right around like COVID, and I kind of used social media. I was like, I'm gonna hold myself accountable, because if I'm posting about loving myself, I have to keep up with it every single day. So I used social media, and I didn't really believe it, but then it started blowing up for me, and so many like young girls would start DMing me, and they're like, oh my God, like you're making me love my body. Oh my gosh, like I love how you love yourself. It's making me realize, I love myself. And then like, things that I used to be insecure about, like I used to hate my nose, so I would like post about it, and girls would message me and be like, you're right, like my natural nose is beautiful, I used to always want a nose job, but like you inspired me that like it's genetics, and it's like passed down from my family, so it's a beautiful nose. And I was like, oh my God. So then over time, like because I'm speaking it into existence, even if I didn't believe it at the time, I was posting every single day, and I was like, you know what, I do love myself.
I love that.
Thank you.
Because it is very hard, I think, for young women in general and just people in general. But, like, also being in the dance world, like you said, you were in competitive dance. And, like, there's a certain look you have to.
Oh, yeah.
And so that must have been hard.
It definitely was. And then not to mention the fact that you literally stand in front of a mirror all day long. And, like, for me, I don't have, like, the ballet dancer body. But ballet is, like, the number one most important genre of dance. You have to take that if you want to, like, dance for real. But I just don't have the ballet physique. Like, I'm a thicker girl. I have bigger legs. I'm not tall with, like, beautiful, skinny, amazing, long legs. So I would, like, be in ballet class and, like, remember my teachers would yell at me and they're like, you need to do this, you need to lose some weight, and I'm like, I literally can't. Like, I'm a muscular girl. Like, if I lose any more weight, like, it's, like, I didn't have an ounce of fat in my body. I was just very, like, muscular. And I was like, you know, it's kind of hard looking in the mirror and, like, you know, there's a girl next to me who has, like, gorgeous lines, and then I'm just kind of, like, stocky. So I was like, you know, it definitely, like, kind of tears down your confidence. But then, you know, I started using social media and I was like, no, like, I might not have the body for this, which isn't true. Like, I feel like, you know, I can still do ballet and look beautiful, but I was like, my body type is perfect for, like, shaking ass.
For what you love to do.
Yeah, and I have a figure and I'm like, I'm going to start figuring out things that'll, like, make me feel confident with the body that I was blessed with. And then I did, and I was like, I love being sexy. Like, I have a sexy body.
Yeah.
So
that is so
loving it.
Freaking cool. And also, like, what I would say, I mean, I'm not a dancer. So I took ballet once, and I was a tomboy when I was younger. So, like, wow, can you imagine a tomboy taking a ballet class? I was this is shit. I hate this. I, like, glared at my mom in the mirror, or, like, just saw from the mirror in the window, and I was like, you're done.
Get me out of here.
I was like, over.
I hated ballet. I hated it.
But with that being said, I'm caveating this with I don't dance, but I feel like, you know, they try and have you look a certain way, but anybody, if you want to be a ballet dancer, you should be a freaking ballet dancer.
Anybody, any color, any boy, girl.
Yeah, anyone.
And I think that that's one of the, like, beauty standards within the dance community that I hate is, like, if you don't have a ballet body, like, you're just, like... Yeah. Like, there's teachers that literally, like, hit you with sticks.
Oh, my. Like,
and
wow.
There was a teacher I had that used to, like, weigh her students. And I fortunately went to that studio after she had ended that because she got, like, reamed out by a bunch of parents. Shout out to the parents because that's unacceptable.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then, this one was actually pretty recent. This was, like, 3 or 4 years ago. Like, as I was teaching, I worked at a studio and I walked in on him yelling at the girls. And I'm talking, like, these girls are under 14 years old. Like, they're literally, like, age 8 to 14. And I walked in on him screaming at them. They're like, why do I see you guys eating Cheetos in the back? And why are you drinking sodas? We're here for dance. You guys are fat. You guys have rolls. He's like, you guys need to sit up straight right now. Why am I looking at rolls? And then he, like, went over to this girl and he's like, 1, 2, 3 rolls. And after he walked out, like, and he owned this place. Like, this was his studio. After he left, I was like, guys. I, like, sat down with all of them, and this was actually, like, one of the last classes I taught there, because then I left. I was like, don't ever let him make you feel like you're not worthy, or not beautiful, or that you're fat. I'm like, you guys are little girls. I was like, if you want to eat Cheetos, eat Cheetos. I'm like, you know, obviously I told them, like, make healthy choices, but I was like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm healthy. Like, I used to go to dance class with Slurpees and Cheetos all the time. You're literally dancing for, like, 8 hours a day. Your body needs it. Like, if you want to, you're a little kid, how are you going to look at an 8-year-old and be like, don't eat chips?
Yeah, like, that's unhealthy when you're getting fat. That's freaking ridiculous. Cookies, guys.
Eat cookies, please.
We're going to have at least 3 of these on this talk, so.
Yeah. No, for real. And I told him, I was like, you know, make healthy choices, but you're also children, and you're humans, and you're going to have cravings, and you're going to want to do stuff. And I'm like, you guys are working out, and that's already half the battle. And I was like, then on top of that, I was like, you guys are literally all beautiful. Like, don't sit there and, like, look at yourself. Because as soon as he left, all the girls were in the mirror. They were like, and I was like, these are kids. Yeah, these are kids, and they're gonna hate themselves forever because of this moment. So I tried to help as much as I could, but, you know, I never went back there. So it's like, I wonder what he's done since. And for a man to be saying that to little girls, who are you? Please go.
Going off of that, so again, I'm not a dancer. I didn't have a sport or something where people were, like, always looking at me like, oh, you need to change your body. But, like, as a woman and as a girl growing up in society, especially being, like, the early 2000s was, like, anorexia, you're really thin, that's the beauty standard. And, like, still to this day, that's what's ingrained in my mind. And so, like, my relationship with food has been horrible. And body image, like, did you go through those problems as well?
Honestly, I've never gone through that. So good. I love food.
I'm so happy. Yes. I'm so happy because it's not fun. It's not cool.
I've seen so many people go through it. Especially since being in LA, like so many girls, like their definition of hanging out is you want to like go get salads, and I'm like, no, I want steak and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like the diet culture out here is extreme, like extreme, and there's nothing wrong with like bettering yourself and being healthy, but I feel like people don't have the best mindset. Like people want to go on diets to lose weight, and that's it. I feel like the mindset should be, I want to go on a diet so I can be healthier and feel good about myself. Because I will say, like, sometimes I do eat horribly and then I feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm greasy and bloated and I'm really lazy today. And that's okay. Sometimes you're going to have days like that. And I've learned that is a healthy relationship to have because I'm allowed to have a bad day here and there. But after that, I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow, like, I'm going to make dinner. Like, I'm going to make some fish and, like, have chicken for lunch. And, you know, stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think being in LA and being in just like certainly an industry that cares about what you look like and like
it's insane out here. Like I've never seen anything like it. Like everyone out here, it's like plastic surgery. When are you getting this done? Like I had a girl come over to me one time and she's like, when are you getting a nose job? And I was like, never. I love my nose. Yeah. And then I was seeing a makeup artist and she was like, hey, I know a girl that does lip filler. And I was like, okay, what about it? And she's like, don't you want to get your lips done because they're like paper thin? And I was like,
you're like, thank you?
No, I don't. Like if you want to get stuff done, so be it. It's your body. Do what you want to. But I hate when women feel like they have to do it for other people. Like there's girls that are like, I just want a fat ass, so I'm getting a BBL. And I'm like, period, go off. But then there's some girls that are like, yeah, like this boy told me I had like small boobies, so like I want to go get a boob job. And I'm like, no. Yeah. Like don't do it because other people make you feel like it. And I feel like in LA the beauty standard is to like not be natural at all. So I feel like people come out here and then like their confidence is just torn down and then everyone just wants to like look the same and I'm like there's so much uniqueness in like your natural beauty. And then I feel like the other issue is LA is like that's what everyone looks up to. Like all the influencers out here, all the celebrities are out here, so they're all getting jobs done. So then all these little girls are like, oh my god, I can't wait to get a nose job. I'm like, you're 6.
You're like, no. Especially in your industry, competitive dance as well as social media, it's all about praise. So in competitive dance, if you're doing well, you're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna like keep doing the same thing over and over again and get better in this way because then, you know, I'm gonna be liked by the choreographers, I'm gonna book more things. Same with social media, where it's like, if people like this and people are viewing it, I'm going to get more business, I'm going to get more followers.
Yes, that is very true.
How have you dealt with being validated by external sources?
So, growing up a dancer, I feel like I was lucky because I literally experienced this. I started competitive dancing when I was 9 years old. So, ever since I was 9, like, I went through the whole, like, feeling validated. I will say I was not the most talented in every room, but I was always the hardest worker. So, like, I would stay after hours and just, like, work my ass off, and I would still get beat by everyone, and I'm like, dang. But then I started realizing, like, I don't dance to win. I don't dance for validation of others. Like, of course, like, when I, like, won here and there, like, that would make me feel good because, you know, humans need praise and humans need to feel validated. But I stopped making that my priority. I actually quit competition dancing my senior year of high school so that I could strictly just train. So I started training around the Detroit community. That's when I started taking like heels classes and hip hop, and I started doing genres that I wasn't good at. And then I just like, you know, realized I was like, I love what I do, so I don't really need to like feel validated by other people because my own self, like if I love what I'm doing, that's all that matters. So with social media, it's kind of the same thing. Like I don't put days and like millions of hours into like coming up with one video. I just do whatever the heck I feel like doing in the moment. Like if I'm feeling sad, I'll make sad content. If I have the zoomies, I'll make my crackhead hour funny content. Any dance videos I want to do, like I only dance when I feel like it. And I feel like being super authentic has actually brought a fan base that loves what I do because I'm only producing content that I want to make. And then, you know, like the twerking. I was twerking because I loved it. And of course now, like that stuff does well, so I keep doing it. But if I ever didn't want to do it, I would quit doing it like today.
Has there ever been a time where you wanted to give up on social media?
No. They're just really
straight up, that's it. That is the answer to the question, guys. Moving on. No.
I feel like social media is literally my life. Like I've made so many good relationships with like my supporters and stuff, and it's just I feel like I love sharing my everyday with them, and I just like even if I hate posting and I just don't feel like it or I'm having like an insecure day and I just feel ugly, I'm like, there's someone out there that I'm gonna be able to help.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in the world I love more than like helping women love themselves. And even men, like I have men that message me sometimes and they're like, your confidence is inspiring.
Oh, I
so,
love that.
you know, I'm for the women, but
yeah, but you know, anyone
who wants to love themselves and come to my platform and like express that, like I love it. So I feel like I'll never feel the desire to like stop doing it or quit. Like even my dream for social media, I actually want to have family vlogs.
Family vlog. Oh my god,
yes,
that's cute. Yeah.
For me, I feel like that's another thing about LA is no one values relationships and love.
Yes.
And for me, that's like my biggest thing. Like my grandparents are my biggest inspiration with that because they're so freaking cute.
I'm like in love for so long.
I might be a hot girl that shakes my ass on the internet, but I'm actually like, I don't have that persona as a person at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm a simp, and I can't wait to just like get married and have a family, and I can't wait to like wear matching PJs and do stupid pranks on each other.
That is so cute. Have you felt like the persona that you put out there? Because like it is you. Like you can be both, right?
Yes.
That's the best.
I call myself Mikaila. It's my alter ego.
Mikaila. Yeah, I was about to say. Wait. Also, like, should you bake at the same time? Like that would be perfect. Have you felt though that it has affected building relationships, like building a love relationship?
I mean, I have like random dudes that'll message me and be like, no one wants to be with a girl that's on the internet. I'm like, well, news for you, buddy. Like, I wasn't looking at you anyways.
Yeah, like, thank you. No one asked.
I feel like it's really just like, you know, I feel like I've actually had less luck when I wasn't doing this stuff on the internet. I've actually been talking to a nice boy lately. He's doing really well, so I have hopes.
We have hopes. You know who you are.
You know who you are.
Oh, I feel good about that.
I actually have very high hopes for this boy. I've never met anyone like him before, so.
Oh my god. Oh, I need to know more.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you the tea off.
Okay, well that's
but
good.
I feel like it definitely really hasn't affected anything. If anything, it's attracting like actual men towards me because they want, like a real man wants a woman that's secure with herself and independent.
Yeah.
I feel like boys that haven't matured yet, I scare them off, but like good, I don't really want it anyways.
Okay, so out of the corner of my eye, guys, so my fiance Spencer's helping film this one. He was just nodding along to your comment. Oh, yeah. He was like, yes, she's right.
Yeah. And then I feel like also like with my social media journey, I just went on a huge mental health, self-love journey this past year, and I just really haven't like made myself available to dudes. And I feel like in the past I did because I wasn't comfortable being alone and I like kind of hated myself. But now like I can sit here and say I've never been happier.
Oh, I love that.
Like I feel like I'm at like my ultimate happiest point, and I feel like because of that it's attracting like good people into my circle now. So
yeah, absolutely.
I feel like it's my time.
What exactly was your mental health journey? Like what prompted it, and what was it? You know, what was it for initially?
So I feel like people that struggle with mental health, like you know that like you are in a slump. Like I have really bad anxiety and I have OCD, which those aren't necessarily. Okay, well I have ADHD as well. I am mentally ill. I am mentally ill. So the OCD and the ADHD I don't look at as negatives because, you know, my OCD might annoy some people, but it keeps me so clean and so organized, and I feel like that's why I'm able to jumble the lifestyle I have. Mm-hmm. Even though it might annoy my managers and like if I have, you know, like a boy or something and I'm like, clean up your socks, like, you know, it might be annoying, but you'll thank me when you're not living in a mess. Yeah. Anxiety sucks. Yes. And then I've never felt depression before like a year ago, and I started getting depressed and I was like, whoa, like this is not good. Like I was laying in bed all day. I started forming like unhealthy habits with food. Like I was literally just like binge eating because I was just sad, and you know, that was the only thing that I could do is just eat. Like I could barely get out of bed, and I'm like, I do not like feeling like this. So, you know, after like 2 weeks of that, I was like, I need to get my shit together because I cannot go into a slump. I do not have the care to do that. I do not have the time to do that. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like my job is to uplift people, and if I'm not uplifted, I can't uplift others. So I got a therapist. Nice. And I do it, like, even to this day online, so, like, I don't have to go. So I feel like it makes the commitment a lot easier. Absolutely. And then after I got my therapist, like, I started becoming very, very self-aware, and I was like, oh, this is why, you know, I have OCD. This is what triggers this. This is why I feel this way. And now, like, I'm very self-aware. Yeah. So it's nice because, like, any toxic traits I have or anything that, like, I want to change about myself, like, I know where they come from and I'm, like, aware of it, so I'm able to change it. And then I started, like, journaling, which I need to catch up on because I haven't journaled in, like, 2 months because I've been so busy. You're busy. You got things to do. Yeah, but I love writing. I got into music, which is cool because I get to, like, write how I'm feeling. And that's the main reason I got into music. Like, I don't really have dreams of going on tours and being a pop star. I just needed a new passion since I'm like been dancing my whole life. I wanted to like make music to explain how I feel. And then I started like reading a little bit, and then I started setting time for myself, like, oh, I can take a bubble bath tonight. And I started traveling a lot more, and I was like, all right, I'm starting to figure out like what makes me happy. So I got out of that slump, and like I said, I still do therapy because I feel like with this job, like I'm so busy doing things for others and helping others, like even if I'm as happy as I am, like I feel like the reason I am is because I know I have someone that I can like go to with like my issues.
Yes.
And feel validated. You know, humans need validation.
Yes. What I love about therapy, I'm also in therapy, and I just love it. One, love talking.
Oh,
love talking to anyone who listens.
And they literally just have to listen.
Yeah.
And they can't like make you feel like crap about yourself.
And what I love too is like it's a third party. So like you can talk to your mom, friend, boyfriend, whatever, but they have a bias.
Yeah, this is all unbiased.
Yeah, and you could just be like where you may feel uncomfortable talking to a friend about something, you can talk to this individual.
And they can't judge you. I mean, they can, but like they won't show it in their face. And it's like, you know, we always do things like there's some things I just like don't want to tell my friends about. Like if I do something that's like really embarrassing, or like if I talk to like that guy for the third time, you know, I don't want to go to my friends and be like
tail between your legs. How do you measure success, like for yourself?
I just, you know, am I a good person? Like, do I make other people happy? Like, am I better than I was yesterday? I feel like that's my success. Like, I don't really count money or material things as success, because, you know, I feel like you can literally be the like richest person in the world and still be miserable.
Oh, absolutely.
So my success, I feel like my success is just more about like happiness. Like if I'm happy, I'm successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge because, you know, monetary things can go away quickly. You could lose all your money. And if you're a shitty person,
then no one's gonna care. You're just gonna be stuck there broke.
Yeah, by yourself, and like realize that you kind of made some mistakes.
That's another thing I've noticed, like being out in LA, like there's people I'm way more successful than. There's people that are like way more successful than me. So I've just been really like evaluating, and I feel like a lot of people that do have success, like they don't have their family behind them anymore, they don't have their friends behind them, and they're just like lonely. Or like people value money so much, like they will have like the craziest mansion you could think of, but they live alone in it, and I'm like, ooh, no.
Yeah. You're like, not me.
No.
I get it, totally. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you see yourself doing?
So hopefully I will be thinking about starting a family, hopefully. I've always wanted to have kids around like 27, 28. And I'm not going to like force myself to be on a timeline, but you know, in a perfect world, I'm hoping I'm starting to think about a family, and I hope that I like started my clothing brand. I really want to start my own clothing brand. No drop shipping. Like I want to sit down with a designer here. Yeah. Be like, this is what I want. So right now, you know, I am focused on trying to get my brand back to being more towards women. I feel like it started like that, but then like my videos started, you know, it's more of a male audience, which I appreciate the male support for sure, but I feel like I want to, you know, keep the male supporters where they are, but also add more women, because that's what I am here for.
Right, absolutely.
So I want to like get my women supporters up more, and I want to start my own podcast.
Love that.
And I feel like I want to end up like turning that into like my own clothing brand, and I want to do lingerie and swimsuits and like twerk shorts and stuff like that.
Oh, I love that. Well, Mikaila, it was so awesome having you on today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
It was awesome.
These are so good.
We gotta get off, and we have to like eat the rest of us.
Oh, I'm gonna eat all of them.
Oh my god, cheers.
You know what? Cookie cheers.
Oh yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.